Okay, now let's put demand and supply of loanable funds together. So we have a demand and okay, let's see, here we go. We have a demand for loanable funds, right? And we have a supply of loanable funds. So supply from all the savings, and demand is from the investment demand, right? Again, value on the vertical axis is the interest rate, and the value on the horizontal axis is both savings and investment, okay? So when these two, demand and supply, interact with one another, we have an equilibrium. And then we're going to take a look. Equilibrium in this market reflects an important principle that savings equal investment. Savings equals investment. So dollars that make their way into the loanable funds market are channeled to firms for investment purposes. And this principle indicates how important saving is in this macroeconomy. Without savings, there is no investment because every dollar borrowed requires a dollar saved. All right, so an equilibrium quantity for the savings and investment in this case is $250 billion. And because of this interaction between the demand and the supply, it helped determine the interest rate of 5%. Now, in equilibrium, again, savings equaled investment, and supply of loanable funds is saving, right? Demand for loanable funds is firms wanting to borrow money. So this relationship between the saving and borrowing, showing that every dollar borrowed requires a dollar saved. Again, if there's no savings, there will be no investment. All right. So again, we will practice what we know from this chapter when we meet on a virtual meeting. So now we are going to identify how the interest rate rises or how the interest rate falls. Let's take a look at the first factor. Imagine if there's a decline in investor confidence. Remember, investor confidence, this is the demand factor, right? The investor confidence tends to decline when the economy slows. So that means, what does it mean? Firms expect reduced sales, and investors expect lower returns on their investment. If that is the case, the model that we just learned predicts that this will result in a lower level of investment and a lower interest rate, right? The demand will shift to the left. So that means the investment will fall. Okay, so think back during the recession in year 2000, between 2000 and 2012, right? So investment actually fell during both US recessions, the 2000, 2001, and then 2008 to 2012. Here's the statistics. I hope you can see the graph well. So on one hand, I'm going to show the saving and how the decline in investor confidence affect this loanable funds market. Here's a statistic. The shaded area here, that's the recessions. And here's the amount of investment that we collect data on. During the recession, the investment fell. During this Great Recession, the investment fell big time too. So how do we use the model to predict this? Here we go. If we have the supply and demand to start with at first, and then the confidence of the investor fell. If the confidence falls, so that means the demand for loanable fund is going to shift to the left. And when demand shifts to the left, the new equilibrium interest rate will be lower at R2 instead of R1, now be at R2. And the amount of investment will fall as well, right? The real investment declined during both recessions, okay? Lower investment, lower savings, lower interest rate, and so on. Now, the next one, let's think about future of the loanable funds market in United States. So the first one, let's say fall in the savings rate over the past 30 years. So that means what? It means a supply of the loanable funds will shift to the left. Okay, it shifts to the left. So when it's a level shift, And then what caused this the savings to change and lower, right? Some people argue this is going to be from the increase in time preferences. People are more or less patient, right? They want the money now, want to spend now. So if that is the case, there will be a leftward shift, a supply shift in the loanable funds market. But here's what happened. The foreign savings increased in United States, right? Why is that happening? Because United States is quite a safe economy, right? Great return still, and people kind of all over the world want to invest in United States. So there are more savings from foreigners or foreign savings coming to United States, and that could shift the supply of loanable funds back to the right. Meaning it shifted to the left before, decrease in the supply. Now it could shift back to where it is. All right. So what else could happen in the loanable funds market? So by the way, this first part, it means it would help with the increase in the GDP in the future, right? Having funds from foreigners, right? And by the way, the implication here is that the foreign savings helps lower or keep the interest rate in United States at the low rate. Otherwise, it would have been really high rate, right? If we only relied on the U.S. citizen savings. The second part, the retirement of baby boomers, mentioned again and again, right? So the thing was, the reason to believe that there will be a leftward shift in the supply of funds is that a lot of baby boomers started to retire and collect their pension or social security. So that means there's no more savings coming into the loanable funds, right? But they will do the dis-saving, meaning to spend and take the money out of the loanable funds to spend, right? So that will shift the supply of loanable funds to the left. So there will be less investment and reduce the GDP growth. So if this is the case, even more crucial to have foreign savings that come into United States. So keep that in mind when we get to chapter 20 that we talked about the balance of payment. Then it will be very clear to you why this is going to cause some other numbers that kind of misleading for a lot of people who never took any economics classes before. All right, so on the next slide, you can take a look at this on your own. I'm not going to spend any time on it. And we are done with chapter 9. Please take a look at conclusion, and everything is right there. Okay.